and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel in the first place. Today we have our Christmas special, and I want to say, if you're in the live chat, there are going to be a lot more people than usual, so please be as respectful as you can and read the rules in the description. A little rundown of what's going to be going on with this video. I'm going to read the prompt, and then I'm going to read the character, and then read the little fan fiction that's there. So let's just go ahead and get into it. You murdered my snowman, Toga. Today in particular, Shigaraki was quite pissed off for whatever reason, and Toga was not helping with the mess of blood that she left in the kitchen from her baking. More like murder, but whatever. Kurogiri, in order to get Toga away from Shigaraki, suggested that she go outside and do something there. She walked out the door, and within 10 seconds of her being outside, she bolted back in, yelling, "It snowed! It snowed!" This caused your head to turn towards the shrieking girl, then your body to get out of your seat and walk over to the door. It had really snowed, the first snow of the year in fact, and as you looked out the door, you saw the ground was covered in 5 inches of snow already. You only had a moment to observe before you felt a hand wrap around your wrist and pull you along. Toga had begun to make a snowball and you threw your hands up. Hey, no need to throw that, I have a better idea," you said, walking closer, grabbing the snowball out of her hand. "What are you doing?" she questioned, following the snowball as you placed it onto the ground and began to roll it. "I'm making a snowman. If you take a snowball and roll it, it'll start to kind of pile up." He looked up at her with a smile. "Ooh, do you want to make the head? I'm already working on the second part anyways." "Sure," she grinned, getting another handful of snow and squatting down. After you both finished making your part of the snowman and putting them on top of each other, she ran inside to get stuff to decorate the face and the body. You doubted she'd find much inside, but at least she was trying. While you were standing waiting for it to come back, the head fell off. You heard a small scream from behind you. "You murdered my snowman!" she pouted, bending down to grab some snow. Wait, no, please, it fell over, it wasn't my fault," you pleaded, hoping you wouldn't have to change your clothes because the ones you had on were really comfortable. Needless to say, it didn't work. She was ruthless, throwing snowball after snowball, even sneaking up on you and shoving one down the back of your shirt. Cold Toga, why?" You tried to run inside, again failing in your escape from her and her snowballs. She pounced on you, your face landing in the snow. Once she got off of you and claimed her victory, you sputtered snow out of your mouth. The now soaked clothes that you had on were getting colder by the second. So you decided to head inside, making some hot chocolate and then changing into dry clothes. She approached you after you finished changing and apologized. "Sorry, I kinda just got really into it." "It's fine. Either way it was fun. Do you want me to make you some hot cocoa?" "Yes, please." Snowed in, you're a Raka. Your Raka woke you up with a kiss. "Guess what?" What time is it?" "That doesn't matter, it's snowing," she whisper-yelled, trying not to disturb you too much. Although that didn't work too well, seeing as you shot up and darted to the door, only to realize there wasn't exactly a way out. "Why'd you stop?" You just looked at the door. Snow piled a few feet high, blocking your way out, unless you wanted to cover yourself in snow. "Oh, I see," she stated. "Can you float it away or something?" you questioned, being met with silence. She started laughing and stared at you. "I could, but it would be easier to just grab a shovel." "Oh, okay. I'm gonna do that then." You rummaged around in the closet, finally finding it, and you started to clear a path before you felt a hand on your shoulder. Then you felt lighter, floating above the snow as your Raka smiled behind you, beginning to float herself. "Did you feel that?" "Feel what?" You then threw a snowball at her. "I see what you mean now." She smirked and touched some snow, floating it over your way, and without a place to escape to, it fell all over you. The white snow falling down was gorgeous until it was cold. The two of you continued to throw snow at each other until she released you and you both fell down into it, cackling, crawling to the path you started to make to go back inside. "You don't want to wake up yet." Kirishima. There you were on the bed, eyes closed, chest rising and falling slowly. Well, that was until a certain someone wrapped their arms around you, giving you a quick kiss on the forehead. You stirred awake, rubbing your eyes before turning over away from him. "Come on, babe." "No, it's too early," you said groggily, as he pulled you closer, nuzzling his head into your neck. "It's Christmas morning, we have to get up." "5 more minutes, please." How about now?" he said as he picked you up bridal style, lifting you out from the warmth of the covers. "Carrie, it's too cold for this, put me back down," you pouted. He quickly readjusted you to your feet, pulling you in by your waist and then pushing his lips against yours, filling you with more warmth. "Now that you're awake and out of bed, what do you want for breakfast? I could make eggs, French toast, bagels, bacon, waffles, pancakes, anything you'd like." "How about sleep? That would just taste lovely." That morning, the two of you made food, gave each other your gifts, and the night ended with you sitting by the fireside, basking in the warmth of both the fire and each other. Later on, you dragged him to bed, laying on his chest, and with a final kiss on the forehead, your breath slowed, and you slept, only hearing the sound of his heartbeat. Ice skating, Bakugo. You had always loved winter. The snow, the holidays, the snowball fights with friends that led to changing into warm clothes and sitting by a fire. Bakugo was different. He was never a huge fan of winter. "Come on, come skating with us," both you and Kirishima pleaded, as you held onto one arm each, trying to drag him out of the door. "Idiots, I have to change before we go. I'm wearing shorts right now and it's the middle of winter." Kirishima looked over at you as you looked at him, smiling. Letting go of his arm, you walked out of his room, shutting the door behind you. You opened the door again. "Wait, are you getting dressed to go?" "Yes, now get out before I make you." Stumbling out the door, you looked at Kiri once again. So I got Katsuki a present, and I don't know if he'll like it." This earns a laugh from his way as he pulls you from the door. "Don't worry, I know he'll love anything he gets from you." If you haven't realized, he's a softie for you. Smiling with a toothy grin, he looked towards you again. Your cheeks heated up a bit before you spoke. "I know, but with the holidays, we've been together since we were first years, but I want our last Christmas here to be a good one, Kirishima gave you a knowing look and nods. The door opens as Katsuki comes out, bearing a scarf that you had gotten him last Christmas. A wide smile spreads across your face. "Aw, Boom, you're wearing the scarf." He looks away at the nickname and the comment. He grabs your hand as he looks back to you. "Let's just go," he grumbles, pulling you along. You had to speed up to keep at his pace. Kirishima had already left to go to the small lake Todoroki had frozen over. It was most definitely illegal, but you all didn't care. It was your last Christmas with the class, and you wanted to make it worth it, although you did have to beg Todoroki to do it. Momo was more compliant when you asked her to make ice skates for the class, and so you arrived. You went up to the side of the lake to grab a pair for yourself. You yelled out, "Thank you, Momo, you're amazing." She smiled back at you. The class spent a good few hours skating, or learning how to skate. For you, it was just trying. As you fell, Bakugo looked over to you muttering, "Dumbass," before coming over to help you. "You okay?" he asked, reaching a hand out to you. Sighing, you took his hand, stumbling for a moment before he steadied you with his hands around your waist. "See, it's not that hard." "Easy for you to say." You glared at him for a moment before looking back down at the ice. Towards the end of the day, you were able to skate all by yourself, but Bakugo insisted on holding your hand, or at least your pinky, just to know you were still there. "Thank you," you looked at him, pulling him into a quick kiss. "No problem, dumbass." He gave you a smile, well, more of a smirk. You made your way back to the dorms where you gave him your present. As he opened it, he gave an actual smile before pulling out a picture frame. It was you and him together on your first date. "How did you even get this?" "Oh, I have my ways," he said, smiling back at him. He pulled you into another kiss, this one being more than a peck. His lips were slightly rough, but nonetheless warmer than yours were. "I love you, never forget that." "I love you too, but let's go down to the party." You gave him one last kiss before heading downstairs. Gift giving, Tokoyami. "Hey, Toko," he waved to the bird-headed boy, who was sitting in the common room of the dorms. He waved back. "So, you know how it's Christmas, right?" He nodded. "I got you a gift, so here." You handed it to him. "Oh, you didn't have to. I got one for you too, but it's up in my room." "That's fine, just open it. I think you'll really like it." He unwrapped the gift and pulled it out. As he did so, he let out a small chirp. "Did you just chirp?" You snickered. "Maybe." He looked back down at what you got him. "Here, I'll be right back. Actually, do you want to come up?" You followed after him as he went up the stairs. He handed you the neatly wrapped gift. "Wait, is this what I think it is?" You beamed up at him. "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you." You leaped up to hug him. Although he was a bit uncomfortable at first, in the end he settled into it, hugging you tighter. "You're welcome. It's the least I could do for someone like you." Lending a jacket, Jiro. It was December 20th at 9 p.m., almost the end of the winter dance. You, Jiro, Denki, and Sero sat outside the doors of your school gymnasium, the midwinter air hitting your exposed skin, leaving a tingling sensation. Due to the way the gym was set up, once a door was shut, it locked, so only someone inside or someone with a key could let you in. Now, this wouldn't have been an issue if it weren't for the fact that you three had left early, just to go to IHOP with some friends, only to find out that IHOP was closed. So there you were, freezing cold. The solution was obvious, just call a friend who was inside. Right? Wrong. There was no service inside and the music was blasting, so even if you were to knock on the door, they wouldn't hear you. Denki and Sero hopped up to walk around to see if they could find another way inside, or wait for another student to come out. Both you and Jiro thought it was pointless, so you stayed behind, simply sitting on your phones in silence. You mindlessly scrolled through your phone, trying to find a game to play. You didn't notice, but you had shivered. Jiro, who wasn't paying attention to her phone, but instead watching you, saw. She slipped off her jacket, adjusting herself so that way she could wrap it around your shoulders. "Oh, thank you," you murmured, looking back down at your phone so she wouldn't see your blush. Finally choosing a game to play. When you opened up Minecraft, Jiro looked over at you. "Mind if I join?" And of course you didn't mind, so you nodded yes. The longer you played, the closer you scooted towards her. Now, it wasn't on purpose, more instinctive if anything, but it wasn't like you minded it. It eventually got to the point where you were leaning up against her, head resting on her chest. With a combination of warmth of her jacket, and the heat radiating off of your cheeks, you felt more relaxed than before, beginning to nod off to sleep. Jiro only looked down at you before you mumbled, "You're really comfortable," closing your eyes. Well, that was until Denki burst out of the door yelling, "Jiro, come on, we found a way inside." "Way to ruin the moment, Sparky." Jiro looked up annoyed, but nudged you gently awake. "Come on, they found a way in." You stood up, slowly looking to Sero, whose eyes were now wide. "Is that Jiro's jacket?" He looked down. Yeah, it is." "You finally confessed then?" he shouted. "Sero, no I didn't." Your face heated up hotter than before, as Sero looked at you with an expression that screamed, "My bad." You made eye contact with Jiro, who stared back at you with surprise evident in her eyes. "I like you too." Watching a Christmas movie, Shigaraki. You never would have picked Shigaraki for the Christmas movie lover, but here you were, on the couch, binging them. You were now on the third Home Alone movie. There are occasional interruptions of the other members of the league coming in and standing behind the couch you laid on. Toga had even tried to get you two to stop hogging the couch, but that failed. Shigaraki threatened to disintegrate her, so instead she pulled up a chair. By this point, you were getting tired and were about to fall asleep before you felt him shift behind you. "I'm hungry, let's go get something to eat." "Can't we just order takeout?" you asked. "I have an even better idea." "Toga, go out and get us something to eat." With a huff, she got up to leave. "Don't murder anyone when you're out, thank you," you chuckled to yourself. You pushed further into him, turning your attention back to the TV in front of you. You felt an arm wrap around your waist. The longer you watched, the heavier your eyes felt, and you eventually fell asleep, only waking up to the yelling of Shigaraki. "Toga, listener told you not to murder anyone. Why are you covered in blood?" You shook your head, getting off of the couch to go get something to eat, clearly seeing that Toga didn't get anything for you. Decorating Christmas cookies. Denki. You reached to your right, plugging in the mixer. You insisted on making homemade icing for the cookies you were going to decorate. You grabbed the butter, powdered sugar, and the rest of the ingredients you were going to need. You were just a little bit too excited, so when you turned on the mixer, the powdered sugar bursted into a cloud of white. Denki, who was behind you getting the cookies from the oven, turned around and he looked in awe. "What happened over here?" Nothing at all. Although I may have turned the mixer up just a little bit too high, you giggled. "I see." He then started laughing. "Hey, what's so funny?" Nothing. It's not like you have anything in your hair." He stifled yet another laugh. You turned away, trying your best to fix your hair without a mirror. "Whatever, I'm almost done with the icing, I just need to add the coloring to it." "Oh, so you can color it like this icing?" he asked, dipping his finger into it, and then spreading it across your forehead. "Simba." "Nope, Denki, that's it, you're in for it." "No, listener, think about this," he yelled, running away from you. "Don't try running, you know I'll get you in the end," you said, frosting covering your hands. "If you throw that snowball, it means war. Mirio." It was a lovely winter day. Well, really only if you like snow. Mirio, your boyfriend, had practically forced you to come on a walk. And by force, you mean he begged, and begged, and begged. You had almost slipped on the icy sidewalk multiple times by now, and each and every time he laughed at you. You were almost home, walking through the park. He bent over and grabbed a clump of snow, beginning to mold it into a snowball. He looked into your eyes, to the snowball, then back at you. You stared at him. "If you throw that snowball, it means war," a completely serious look on your face. That look you gave him was like a dare in his eyes, and so you felt snow begin to drip down your shirt. "Oh, it is on," you yelled, running towards a snow wall someone had made in the park, trying to take cover. While behind it, you formed snowballs, occasionally peeking up and pelting Mirio with them, one after the other. This continued, him attempting to hit you, but ultimately failing. Soaked in both melted and fresh snow, he eventually ended the war, waving the white flag, or rather throwing his hands in the air and yelling mercy. You began to walk home. This time, the roles were reversed. He slipped and you laughed. Once you two got back, you threw your clothes into the dryer, changed into new ones, then lay down in bed, turning on a movie. "I shouldn't have started that." He just grinned. Blasting Christmas music. Mina. It was a quiet and peaceful Christmas morning. Everyone laid in their beds asleep, or were at least downstairs in the common room relaxing with each other. Seeing as it was 7 a.m., you wouldn't expect anyone to disturb others at this time. Well, there was one exception. Mina. She was a lovely person, and as your girlfriend she was also lovely. However, she was one of the loudest people you knew, even rivaling Bakugo. She wasn't one to yell per se, but whenever she was around, there was a lot of noise. And so, that Christmas morning, there was Christmas music blasting through the halls, and then into your room. Mina burst in. "Babe, you awake?" You sat up in bed. "How could I not be? Do you hear the music right now? You must have it all the way up." No, it's only like 2/3 of the way up, but I figure everyone else might as well wake up early so that we can all open presents and have a nice breakfast." "Just let me sleep, please." You laid back down into bed before you felt a body hop onto yours. You felt a hand squishing your cheeks together. Wake up. I know you know it's Christmas and you love it." She did end up leaving you alone for a bit. Well, she only really left you alone to go wake up the other people on your floor, and then come back to you. She finally came in, dragging you out of bed. all while you tried to cling on to whatever you could find, trying your very hardest to stay in bed. It didn't work. Wrapping gifts, Sarah. It was Christmas Eve and you were laying in bed, by yourself, waking up to a crinkling noise along with some muffled curses. You exited your room, going out to the living room, seeing an upset-looking Sarah, who was struggling to wrap some gifts. Listener, you need to leave. You can't see your presents yet. He attempted to cover them with his body. You laughed at the sight. I mean, he was covered in many pieces of tape. Do you need help wrapping anything? 'Cause it looks like you're struggling just a little bit. I can try and teach you. No, it's fine. You can't see your presents anyway. Well, maybe. Can you help me with the ones for the Baku squad? Okay, I'll give you a second to organize yourself. You turned around until he said you could turn back. So, for wrapping, you kind of need to move the paper like this, and it tells you how much you need. Then you center it, and if you move the paper like this, it'll look better. Tape please. More? Thank you. You continued giving him instructions on how to wrap the presents, until he finally understood it and was satisfied with his wrapping skills. That's it, you did it. It looks so much better than it did before, and you didn't even need to use as much tape as you were. He smiled at you before looking at his present proudly. Thank you for helping me. No problem. You gave him a quick smile and a kiss on the cheek before leaving to go back to your room so you wouldn't spoil the surprise of what you'd get. While you were there, you wrapped the presents you had hidden away so that way they were ready for tomorrow's gift exchange. Broken heater, Suyu. It was the middle of winter, and the heater for the third floor had stopped working. That was where Suyu's dorm was. With her quirk, if she got too cold, she would start to go into hibernation, and once she entered that state, it would be near impossible for her to exit. So, she had been assigned, or rather you signed up to let her stay in your room, which was on the fourth floor with a working heater. Plus, you two had been friends since like the first week of school, so it was more of a sleepover than anything. During this time, she stayed with you, borrowing your sweatshirts and sweatpants a lot, because they were warmer than hers, but in reality, she just liked the scent they had. She had only stayed with you for a week or so until the heater was fixed, but it kinda caused both you and her to develop habits. For her, she would come up to your room and grab something to wear, and for you, you'd constantly offer a scarf, gloves, or anything just to try and keep her warm. By this point, she had worn all of your hoodies at least once, and you were pretty sure she was hoarding at least 2 of yours in her room. You went downstairs to knock on her door. Hey, Sue, you there? I'm pretty sure you have my black sweatshirt. Could I have it back? As the door opened, it revealed her, in your black sweatshirt, reaching a bit below her waist. Oh, I didn't know you were wearing it. My bad, I'm gonna be leaving then, you said. In reality, you thought she looked adorable, and you didn't want her to see your surprised face. Turning around, you went to walk away, or speed walk upstairs, but you felt a hand grab yours. You can have it back if you want. I can always wear one of mine. No, it's okay. You can keep it. It looks good on you. I mean, you know what? I have to go. I have that thing to do. At least let me repay the favor. I mean, you let me stay in your dorm and temporarily steal your clothes, so it's the least I could do. She looked up to you. With what exactly? This. She leaned up and kissed you on your cheek. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm not the best with feelings, but I know I like you. You smiled a little, feeling your cheeks heat up. I like you too. I have for a while. Oh wait, something else. She walked away to get something from her closet. You looked at the other thing she had in her hand. Is that the same sweatshirt as the one you have on right now? Yeah, I kinda have the same one, but yours just smells like you, and you smell good, so I thought if I gave you mine, then maybe you'd think of me when you smelled it? That's really cute. Thank you. By now, your scorching cheeks had cooled down a bit, only to be relit when you felt yourself leaning down to kiss her. So, would you want to go on a date, one at the dorms, or we could go out and go ice skating. Hibernation, she looked at you with a small smile. Oh, right, we could binge watch a show or something? I could go grab some blankets from my room and you could get snacks in the kitchen? Totally, we could watch The Nightmare Before Christmas. Well, that isn't exactly a show, but you do know how much of a sucker I am for that movie. You walked up the stairs, to your room, to your bathroom, and lastly to the cabinet in it. You reached in, grabbing the gift you had gotten for Asui. She hadn't asked for it, but one day when you were with everyone at the mall, she had been eyeing it every time you walked past the store, so you just had to buy it for her. You ran to the elevator, blankets in hand, hoping you hadn't taken too long. When the elevator finally arrived, she was sitting on the couch, and so you walked up to it, slightly out of breath, throwing the blankets down. Looking to her, you gave her the present. Here, I hope you like it. When she opened it, her eyes lit up and she jumped on top of you, hugging you. I love it. I'm glad. You attempted to get up and move to the couch, in which you were successful once you stopped hugging you. As the end credits of the movie began to play, you looked down to see her asleep on you. Since you weren't a monster or anything, you decided to just accept your fate and rest your chin on top of her head. You were like her personal space heater, or more of a sweatshirt giver. Either way, it didn't matter. All that mattered now was she was comfortable and you two were together. You played with her hair as you yourself drifted off to sleep. It's freezing, you're warm. Hug me, Dobby. It was night, a freezing one at that. Even under a comforter and a weighted blanket, you were still cold. You wanted Dobby. You'd go as far as to say you needed him. He was basically a space heater, and on winter nights like these, it was amazing to lay next to him. However, he wasn't there. He was off somewhere in the world on a mission. He promised he'd be back, and you somehow doubted that. It's not that he was unreliable, but the missions he went on took days, weeks, or even longer with no specific end date. You simply wrapped the covers closer to yourself, trying to keep whatever warmth was there in. You laid down, shivering slightly, before falling into a light sleep. You woke up to the cold air reaching under the covers as someone else lifted them up. That cold was soon replaced by the warmth of your personal space heater. You pushed back into him, attempting to gather all the heat you could, and just be closer. He had been gone too long for your liking. You missed him. Moments like these where you could be together, no words being spoken, a blissful silence, sharing the comfort of each other, no more worrying about if the other person was okay, because they were there. You could feel him there, safely wrapped in his arms. They wake up early, Izuku. Your eyes slowly drifted open, nose filled with the scent of breakfast, only getting stronger the longer you laid there. You eventually got tired of just smelling the food, instead wanting to eat it, or at the very least, see it. As you kicked the blanket off with your legs, you heard a door creak open, a green-net head peeking through. His eyes widened slightly as they locked with yours. Opening the door fully, he spoke. Sorry, did I wake you? Well, I was going to not to be rude, I know you don't like to be woken up early. It's okay, I woke up on my own, and anyways, whatever you made smells delicious. You smiled, sitting up and slipping your feet into the slippers beside your bed. So, what did you make? You asked, making your way to the kitchen. Oh, you know, your favorite. Wait, you actually made it? Really? I know how long it takes to make. You really didn't have to. Your smile only grew wider. I wanted to, plus it's Christmas. You deserve a special meal. He plated the food. Thank you. You leaned in, kissing him on the cheek. He grinned at you, picking you up as you wrapped your legs around his waist and kissed him. He pulled away, looking at you. You tried going in for another, before he leaned back. We have to eat the food before it gets cold. We can finish this after. Fine. He began eating. This is delicious. He just laughed. Fireplace, Todoroki. You were currently sat upon the lap of Shoto Todoroki by the dim, dying fire. Very few noises to be heard, only the occasional crackle and your synchronized breathing. The peaceful silence was broken when he shifted slightly to whisper in your ear, "You're amazing. I hope you know that." Looking back, you responded, "I love you, Toto." You leaned back to kiss his cheek, only for him to pull back a bit. You love me?" he asked, turning you to look at him, your legs now resting around his waist. At this point in the relationship, neither of you had said "I love you" yet, but there was still a mutual feeling. "Yeah, I really do, and I know we haven't been together for the longest time, but you mean everything to me, and this is gonna be cheesy. You're my life, my light, the subject of my love, all of it. I love you too." You wrapped your arms tighter around his waist, moving your head up towards his. This time, instead of going for his cheek, you went for his lips. As yours touched his and his touched yours, you felt the butterflies in your stomach flutter one last time for that night. Similar to the butterflies in your stomach, the kiss was light and gentle, one that left a small smile on your face. As the final act of the night, he relit the fire one last time before the two of you drifted off to sleep. "Stay here with me, Shoji. Christmas, the happiest day of the year for some, a time when families can spend time together. Your family was always out on business trips, so you never had a chance to get a real Christmas experience." That was until Shoji. Although his family wasn't around, it was way better than being alone for Christmas. It was the end of the day by now, and it was getting dark outside and getting even colder than it was before, already below freezing. You threw on your jacket and picked up your belongings, getting ready to leave when you felt arms around you. "Stay here with me, it's too cold outside," a voice whispered in your ear. "But I really can't stay." "Baby, it's cold outside. I've got to go away." "But baby, it's cold outside." The two of you began to sway a little. You now turned to the direction of him. Throughout that dance, he managed to convince you to stay the night. He gave you a change of clothes that were most definitely oversized, and those clothes were some of the warmest and most comfortable you had ever worn. The feeling of laying in bed with him, and with them on, was even better. "He wants you to stay in bed, Shinzo." Your eyes fluttered open slowly, the clock beside your bed catching your eye. It was 11 a.m. on Christmas morning, and you were still in bed. "Wait, in bed?" You went to jump out from under the covers and run to the living room. Well, that was until you felt something, or rather someone, pulled on the back of your shirt. "Wait, listener, don't leave me. You're too comfy," Shinzo whined, now gripping onto your shirt tighter and lightly pulling his hand back. You turned around with a pleading glare, hoping he'd crawl out of bed and just come with you, or at least let you leave. I mean, sure, it was the weekend, but it was Christmas. Christmas! There were presents to give and people to see. Well, it wasn't for certain that you would end up doing all of that, but you at least wanted to get out of bed. He couldn't just keep you captive there. Or maybe he could. He pulled you further into him, into his chest, that way you were face to face. You wriggled around trying to escape him, but to no avail. You were stuck there, most definitely at least for the next 10 minutes, maybe longer. It's not that you didn't want to be there, but you, a person who was constantly cold, always started to doze off when wrapped in his arms and cuddled up so close to him. His head now rested atop yours as you opened your eyes one last time to take in the sight of him. You looked out the window. "Shinzo? Shinzo?" It's snowing. You practically leaped out of his arms now, grabbing a pair of shoes and slipping them on, then sprinting out the front door, just to get a glimpse of the winter wonderland. It seemed like it snowed overnight because there was a good 5 inches of snow covering your boots. You were about to run back and get Shinzo and bring him out when he plopped beside you, wearing flip-flops. "Are you seriously wearing flip-flops right now?" "Yeah, it's not that cold," he stated like it was the most obvious thing in the world. You only stared at him, dead in the eyes, before grabbing his hand, dragging him back inside and throwing his boots towards him. "Put those on at least, then your feet won't be frozen by the time we get back inside." Fine. He put them on and then walked back outside. That morning was filled with sledding, snow angels, snowmen, and snowballs. Although Shinzo didn't despise the snow, he definitely didn't like it like you did and quickly wanted to go inside. So, after quite a bit of pleading from him, you caved in. You had finally arrived, entering the warmth of your home, or whatever warmth you could find with the snow-soaked clothes on. Once you changed into a warm pair of pajama pants and Hitoshi's sweatshirt, you felt a familiar pair of arms. They just so happened to pull you into and under the covers of your cozy bed, lulling you to sleep. After waking up, the two of you spent the rest of the day with friends, giving each other your gifts, drinking hot chocolate, and lastly having yet another snowball fight, changing your clothing once again, but with a smile nonetheless. Mistletoe? Tamaki. It was a lovely Christmas day. So far you had gone out to see a few friends who didn't live on the UA campus. Now you were doing a gift exchange. It was just between you, Tamaki, Mirio, and Nijiri. Even though some may call that a small gift exchange, everyone had gotten something for the other. It was going great for everyone until Tamaki opened a gift from Nijiri. A blush like wildfire grew on his face as he pulled out mistletoe. He looked up to see who had given it to him. Neither Mirio nor Nijiri said anything. All they did was look towards each other, and that's when their plans sprung into action. Mirio ran up and grabbed the mistletoe from the box, while Nijiri made sure both you and Tamaki couldn't leave. You turned towards him. His eyes looked up to the mistletoe, then to you, and then to the ground. Both Nijiri and Mirio looked to you with glee in their eyes, pushing you to kiss him. See, Nijiri had known that you liked Tamaki, and Mirio knew Tamaki liked you, and they shared every little secret with each other, so it's no wonder you ended up in this situation. After many awkward seconds, you finally moved in, grasping onto his face lightly with your hand. When your lips made contact, he pulled back for a second before settling in. You could feel the heat radiating off of his cheeks with your hand, and by the time you pulled apart, it was just the two of you alone. That was nice. Could I have another? He looked to you and smiled lightly. As long as you don't mind. This time, he grasped your face. Alright, so that's the end of this one. I hope you enjoyed. If you're in the live chat, say thank you to the moderators, but this time for real, because with multiple character videos, there are a lot more people who are watching, so they have to put in a lot more work. All of these fanfics are mine. I think that's about all I have to say, but I hope you have a great Christmas if you celebrate it. Otherwise, happy holidays for whatever holiday you celebrate, or if you don't celebrate one. I'm just kind of glad you watched this video. Music link, fanfic link, Discord link, oh, wait, actually not fanfic link, Amazon wishlist link, and thumbnail art link will all be in the description. I hope to see you in the next one. Also, know that January I'm going to be taking off the first week of it because I need a break. So, yeah, well, it might be less than that, but we'll have to see. Also, I can't promise consistent posting for the rest of December. Yeah. Alright, I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, whatever, and goodbye!